guys, heavy battle is raging between Boko Haram and Iswap. They've been caught in live battle trying to buy themselves. The hand of God has really put confusion amongst them. Now take a look at this headline. It says, exclusive live battle between Boko Haram and Iswap. So far casualties is more than 100 now. So far Boko Haram is defeating Iswap and sweeping all their camps. And this other headline here says, scores between Iswap and Boko Haram. So far 170 Iswap killed, 4 Boko Haram killed, 7 boats captured, only 3 escaped, several weapons captured by Boko Haram. Iswap may retaliate tonight. And this one now says, in the never-ending tough war between Boko Haram and Iswap around Lake Chad, the latest confrontation has produced a clear Bakaura Dora has completely humbled Iswap. So guys, and it went further to say that more than 100 Iswap fighters were sent to their end in just one ambush and their boats capsized. Their morale shattered. So these Iswap are cowards that we are told they are. If not, then when will they retaliate? This is what this headline is saying. So guys, I'm going to be sharing this video with you. This is coming at a time when some bandit leaders, these terrorist leaders, have come out to say that the federal government is the one sponsoring them, because people have been wondering, where are they getting AK-47 that cost more than $1,000? These people, you see, they come from very poor background. They are not educated. How do they get all these AK-47 they are parading all the time? Now, take a look at the fight that is raging on the Lake Chad Basin. Just take your time and watch this video. And there are other videos you are going to be watching. I just wonder when we are going to get out of this mess. You can imagine these people are comfortably engaging themselves in this fight and no military confrontation. Nobody is striking them. They just have the arena. They have this environment. They are just engaging themselves and nobody can take them out. That is to tell you that honestly, it will be difficult to end this menace, because this shows that they have freedom in this area. They are operating without fear. They are just engaging amongst themselves. No fear that the Nigerian military will come after them, that the Air Force is going to strike them, that Nigeria is going to come after them. You can imagine to that extent. So guys, take your time, watch this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Now take a look.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Idan ba gwamnati ta daure man wanda yake cikin daji ya ta'addanci ba, Allah ubangiji ya tsine man, Allah dauki rayuwa ta a wurin nan. Bahilla ce saniya aka san shi da ita, sai noma. Saniya ba ta haihuwa bindiga AK-47. Bahilla ce bai da makera da zai kera bindiga AK-47. Gwamnati ke turowa har muka samu. Mu kuma wallahi dalilin da ya sa billahi lazi shekara na 7 ina makarantar allo, amma lokacin da na dawo na tsinci kaina a cikin wannan abun wallahi ina mamaki, kullum ina tunanin rayuwata saboda mahaifana akalla a kasar dan banga da
Armed bandits in Katsina State have made stunning allegations claiming the Nigerian government orchestrated their criminal activities and only now decided to call for peace during a peace meeting between Batagwawa and Karachi communities held on Saturday. One of the bandits declared they have stopped attacks following government intervention. The bandit spokesperson stated in a now viral video, and I quote, "It was the government that wanted us to engage in banditry, but now it has called us and told us to stop." He alleged that despite 2 months of attempts to initiate peace talks, authorities only located them when they genuinely decided to engage. The armed group insisted that peaceful coexistence depends entirely on Nigerian leaders, stating, "If you want to cry, don't cry with us, the terrorists, but cry with your government, for they are the ones who made us do what we have been doing." I mean, this is really, really alarming, El-Rufai. The allegations raise serious questions about the relationship between criminal networks and state actors, echoing long-standing suspicions about complicity in Nigeria's worsening insecurity.
Talking about the sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria, I'm going to allow you to take a look at the stance of the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, while he was in office, and his stance after he left office. He has been accused to be one of those sponsoring all these bad guys. So guys, take your time and watch this video to the end, just for you to get the gist on how this Boko Haram, they came into Nigeria and they were left stranded, and that even angered them to be doing what they are doing. I mean, the terrorists that we're experiencing today. Take your time, watch this video to the end, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
El-Rufai has been accused of wanting to set Nigeria on fire with his utterances. The chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Plateau State, Samuel Kwamko, made the accusation after a video in which El-Rufai allegedly stated that he deceived Christians during the course of the electioneering campaigns, that the APC Muslim ticket was not for religious dominance, when in actual fact the tickets, both nationally and at the state level, were for Islamic dominance. In the video, which has since gone viral, El-Rufai is reported to have also said that the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu had silenced the Christian Association of Nigeria, adding that he will sustain an Islamic-dominated government for 20 years and unending, not only in Kaduna State, but in Nigeria at large. Kwamko, who is also a former national director of the Christian Association of Nigeria, while reacting to El-Rufai's comments, expressed disappointment at his classification of citizens of his state as them versus us, which to him meant that the former governor cannot be exonerated from the wanton killings, demolition of houses, and places of worship of Christians in Kaduna. Well, let's take a listen to a short clip of that video before we come back for a discussion.
Duk da taron dangin da aka yi, duk da addini da aka yi amfani da shi, Allah ya ba Asiwaju nasara. Abinda muka samu muka yi a Kaduna yanzu an yi shi a ƙasa gaba daya. Babu wani makaryaci da zai zo ya ce, zai fito ya ce shi zai yi siyasa na Kiristanci ya ci zaɓe. Peter Obi ya yi ga inda yake. An yi maganin wannan, dole suka shigo. Tun da Asiwaju ya ci zaɓe kan tsit. To da haka ne za a samu zaman lafiya a ƙasar nan. To shi ma kaga aka sake aka ƙara sai komi sai ya wallahi abinda muka yi kenan kuma ni da wasu daga cikin mu a ganin mu mun gama aikin.
This has caused a huge debate on our social media.
Get back to some of the issues that were raised by former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai, who alleged that the government is paying bandits to dissuade them from killing Nigerians. Of course, you know that he appeared in this program on Sunday, where he argued that bandits should be killed and not engaged in negotiation. The former governor served between 2015 and 2023, alleging that the policy of negotiation and compensation of armed groups was a national directive championed by the Office of the National Security Advisor. And since his appearance on this program, there are those who have said himself as engaged in those kind of acts in the past. A debate that have ensued based on that statement. However, the Office of the National Security Advisor has dismissed claims by Mr. El-Rufai that the federal government had been coordinating ransom payments and inducement to armed bandits across the country. Let me remind you, for those of you who couldn't catch it, but of course you can still go back to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/channels web, and you can catch the full interview and portions that I'm going to show you, specifically for our conversation tonight. This is the point where Malam El-Rufai on Sunday said it is a national policy driven by the Office of the National Security Advisor, and Kaduna is part of it. Many states are objecting to that, but that is a policy. Now, take a listen to it.
What I will not do, okay, is to pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them in the name of non-kinetic. It's nonsense. We are empowering bandits. It's not the government of Kaduna State. It's a national policy driven by the Office of the National Security Advisor, and Kaduna is part of it. Many states are objecting. Now is objecting to that, but that is the policy now. Kills the bandits. That's the new policy. My position has always been the only repentant bandit is a dead one. Let's kill them all. Let's wipe them. Let's bomb them until they are reduced to nothing. And then the 5% that still want to be rehabilitated can be rehabilitated. You do not negotiate from a position of weakness. You don't empower your enemy. You don't give him money to go and buy more sophisticated weapons. That's why the insecurity problem has not gone away and will not go away as long as this policy continues.
That is an extract of what Madam El-Rufai said on this program on Sunday. And indigents and citizens of Kaduna State and citizens of Nigeria are already reacting to some of the issues, especially the implications. Tonight, let's speak with one of those who is concerned about that statement. He's Senator Datu Baba Ahmed. He's joined us live. He's a former lawmaker and the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Hi, pleasure to be here.
I know you were one of those who were somewhat very concerned about that statement. What's your view about that statement, though?
That statement is at the core of Nigeria having a government. Do we really have a government? If somebody who sold Nigeria's assets for 4 years at BPE, served as FCT minister for 4 years, and served as governor, would say that there is a national policy of paying bandits. Do we have a government? Am I a citizen? Are you a citizen? Does Nigeria exist? Or do a pack of people live in a certain territory with another group of people claiming to misrule them? Do we have a government? Do we have a nation? What are we doing? Are people understanding the gravity of this statement? Do we even have an Office of a National Security Advisor? A national policy is official position of government. An official declaration that this is what we shall be constitutionally doing, what we shall be legally pursuing. That's what we call a national policy. It is made public, it is celebrated, it is broadcast to the whole world. Was such a thing held? Why did Nasir say it? if the so-called Office of National Security Advisor will take this statement with levity, then Nuhu Ribadu was never a policeman. He is not a qualified lawyer. He should not be in that office.
What would you say he should be doing? His office has reacted to this.
That is not a reaction.
If you were the NSA, what would you be doing?
And Nashiri should be writing some comments by now, some statements to the police, to the courts. If the position of Nigeria, the so-called APC government of Uncle Tinubu, if their official position is to be compensating bandits, paying bandits, then we don't have a nation.
So your inference tonight is that whatever Madam Nasir El-Rufai has said in that respect, which we played back,
yes,
if it's not true, the government of the day should be taken more seriously.
Yes, and so long as it passes by with the so-called, what you call reaction of the answer, then it is true. And I tend to agree that it could be true.
But if for example, I was going to ask
before
you.
This one,
yeah,
another almost 8-year governor of Borno State said that there are informants of terrorists in the Nigerian military and among Nigerian politicians, and it is official. You have the evidence. Before then, there was another politician who again said that bandits and terrorists were brought into Nigeria pre-2015 election. These are even small ones. Do you remember? Now, what I'm about to say and my arguments are that insecurity is part of APC. Insecurity has been APC's way of getting power. Insecurity has been part of APC's way of staying in power.
Is that fact or just your opinion?
That is my candid, firm opinion that is being strengthened by the kind of unfortunate comments like that of Nasiru. So 2 days ago.
But there are no facts to what you're saying. There are no facts to what you're saying.
Facts.
There are opinions. How would you say the government of the day is part of their life or living is insecurity?
That I'm giving you the facts. Now I have clearly given you 3 statements of politicians, government functionaries that are undisputed. I have given you this. Go back in time. Do you remember that a former Nigerian president was attacked by terrorists? Unprecedented, never in the history of Nigeria did that happen. Do you also remember that I made a passing statement on that in 2022, which, as usual, people didn't take seriously? Why did some young men in the forest in the northeast, what business do they have? When Nigerian leaders leave, they are liked, they are loved, they are forgiven all their errors and everything. This one, they followed and tried to kill him. Why did that happen? What happened in all the donations leading up to 2015? Why decide to come back and run in 2015 after crying and telling the whole world you're no longer content? What was the link with North Africa? What was the link with Muammar Gaddafi? He's not alive, but others are alive to say it.
You are from Kaduna State, Senator.
This is Cheung.
Oh.
I'm in so much pain. Believe me. Nigeria is a great country, should be a great country, and we have people destroying us by the hour. Insecurity has been part of APC's game. And Nasiru is saying it, and I think he's right. The government has been paying them.
Well,
last year, this time, I have facts.
No, the government has said no, they are not paying them.
They are paying them because the reaction of UNSA is not disputing what Nasiru has said.
You are inferring that the NSA should arrest Nasiru or collect his statement. But if that happens, then those in opposition that will say they are going after opposition voices.
There are more ways to counter such opposition. I told you about 2015. You see, going after a former Nigerian president, trying to kill him. What does that tell you? Something. Before that, what had happened? After Jonathan won in the Supreme Court, they called for dialogue, and those young men nominated a former Nigerian president who took 3 days to repudiate. After those 3 days, go and plot the graph. You will see that between 2012 to 2014, the spikes of attacks around those villages in the northeast skyrocketed. Because hunger, lack of medicine. Why? Because somebody had stopped sending the recurrent expenses of those people who used to come all the way to Kaduna, collect and then go back. And that's how the cycle went. In protest as to why did you call that name, they couldn't bear it anymore and felt by 2014 the best thing was to go and attack attempted. It failed. We're lucky. They got Jonathan scared. He thought that, oh, if they kill this man, Nigeria will burn. They provided him with additional cars, more money, and it was all about money. It was all about collecting money. The truth is that somebody had gone to North Africa, negotiated with Gaddafi. Gaddafi, who is was an international terrorist, all over the world, from the far west to the far east, said, I will help you, like I've been doing. I heard there are some young men. There are plans to kill Gaddafi, not in a palace coup, but through uprising. If it fails and you become president, I will retire to your country if you become president. If it doesn't fail, right now, he wanted to create a buffer. So he sent Saif al-Islam, go on YouTube and find out, to Niger with money, cash, millions of dollars in his boot, to recruit Tuaregs to go and fight in Libya. Sent his former general to Mali, why you still have insecurity in Mali. In Nigeria, they gave crazy amount of money to that gentleman. Go and help these people with the intention of bringing them to fight in Libya. When Gaddafi died, they sat on the money. They kept on with the recurrent until after mentioning the name, and then they stopped sending the money. They became, now all these things are linked. They wanted Nigeria to burn if Buhari did not become president in 2015. I contested alongside Buhari for Senate. I contested for Senate in 2011. You have it on YouTube. He said, blood, soaked in blood, the baboon and ever since he made that comment, I refused to go and campaign with Buhari. Refused completely. It didn't matter if I lost the Senate seat. I won it eventually. Insecurity for a former president to say, that you soak in blood. And then there was, Kaduna is my state. There was serious violence in Kaduna. Many, many houses were burnt. Emir's houses in Ongwansarki, Demna Abba had their houses burnt and all that, simply because of a statement. They went and brought in people from those neighboring places in readiness to remove Jonathan by all means. So the desperation of people to get Jonathan out of power has built up and added to what we call insecurity in Nigeria today.
So you're inferring that all what we have seen over the last few years as insecurity is orchestrated?
Of course.
And it's political?
Of course. Last year around this time.
This narrative.
Last year around this time. Whatever I tell you, I'll try to give you evidence. Last year around this time, we were just negotiating the release of our own nephew. And when he came out, what he said is not much different from what El-Rufai is saying. They complained that, and this young man is alive. He could come here tomorrow and you interview him. He's alive now in Zaria. He's alive. That, look, they're not making much money relying on these handouts from government. Each time they go out to operate, they make more money like he does in their hand. We kept negotiating. He's alive and he can come to this and sit with you, Sheron Akimbaloyi, and you interview him. This is a fact. But my grudge with Nasiru's statements is that he was part and parcel of APC from 2013. Like he told you, he was one of the architects of it all. All of a sudden, to come and absolve himself and call others. No. Nasiru is part and parcel of all that has been going on. We suffered, we are victims of Nasiru's misrule in Zaria. Go back December 2015, when a war was supposed to have been won in the Northeast. What business, what military and strategic business did an army chief have to come to Zaria for a convocation, not of NDA, graduation of recruits, privates, choosing to follow the route where the Shiites were holding? All these things were orchestrated. They knew the exact hour, the exact minute that he was coming to pass, because they had the technology. And 800 people were killed because they wanted to raise down the temple that was built. These things were carefully doctored and orchestrated.
These are early allegations that you are making, and which one will imagine? One will imagine someone of your status in the society. Yeah. Why are you just saying this? Why are you saying this? Does it amount to a political gimmick? Or no. What exactly are you up to with this?
Sheron, I've been saying it. I said it in your own program. I mentioned the link about North Africa. In your own program, go back and check. Play the archives and see. Wherever I spoke, I linked electoral fraud with insecurity, corruption and insecurity. I have always done this.
I'm worried, actually, with some of the things that you are saying. But what is at the heart of all of this is that people are being killed. And the government is saying innocent soldiers are also losing, and the security operatives are losing their lives. The question is, where do we go from here? How do we stop this cycle? If you say they are political in nature, for the sake of God, how do we stop this cycle of killings?
Only when you have the right leaders. You can only have the right leaders when you have them truly elected. So long as people will steal an election, so long as people will capture a nation, you will never have security. Most important, most drastic, most horrific is that when that group of people use the tools of insecurity like we have seen in 2015, and it worked, and they achieved what they wanted. And again, they use now, for example, the tools of religion, ethnicity, division within political parties, heavy use of money, security, constitutional abuses and breaches. The law means nothing. It is just what one individual decides. Irrespective of what the law says, you have to go and change the law to what suits that individual. There cannot be security. Not just peace, there cannot be security. Now let's go back. The purpose of being together in a nation is that you must be secured by whoever is leading you. If you're not secured, you're living in hell. You're not in a nation. Like we're almost there now. If that is the purpose, and you have someone who served as 8 years as a governor in one of the federating units, to come and say that it's a policy of the government to reward, because pay is reward, to reward terrorists and criminals. And the history of these people who have been in power, including the governor who said it, is that it is consistent with what he claims now to be doing. And that government is still ongoing. They still have another 2 years to go. We, the ordinary citizens, have no option. The whole world will take it that, yes, the Uncle Tinubu government, so-called federal government of Nigeria, has a policy of paying bandits and terrorists. The history I narrated to you of collecting donations from all over the world by somebody who specialized in collecting donations, by somebody whose entire political game, presidential contest, was because there was no way to sustain the ecosystem around him. They have to contest elections every 4 years. So even after 2011, they must contest elections, especially with the kind of money that people of like the same El-Rufai was bringing to contest. There can be no security for us ordinary citizens of Nigeria so long as you have electoral heist, underwritten, guaranteed by the kind of money and fraud that is taking place now. One single contract of 15 trillion naira, extra, if I say judiciously, extra legally awarded. You cannot, you and I, ordinary citizens, will continue to live in a country that is close to hell, because it is close to hell. Last year, our family got together and rescued one of our nephews. Every day, you like to ask for evidence. The evidence is with you people in the, every day, villages and villagers are sacked from their villages, killed, carted away. Human beings are traded on the commodity like bags of rice that we like talking about. The standard price of human life now is up there. And you have a so-called government that are basking in the fact that they stole 2023 elections, and again that no one can stop them from taking 2027 again. Before then they go and remove the Northeast and the Northwest from the Federation and allow the other units to go on their own. I will come back to that in some other setting. There is no peace, there is no security for us living in close to hell. So long as these people are worshipped, continue to be worshipped by sycophants, telling them what they are doing is right, they are buying politicians who are jumping ship to join APC and give them the falsehood that they are doing well. There will be no security in that. It will continue to fail. Right. They are getting closer to Abuja. They are getting closer and closer and closer to Abuja. This insecurity we're talking about. So long as the president the so-called president is aloof with the realities on ground and has a so-called vice president who has been reduced to just going for wedding ceremonies, burial ceremonies, in the situation that Nigeria is, look, it is easier for the federal government of Nigeria now to send a whole vice president to go for condolence visits and wedding ceremonies than when 200 people are killed in the villages in Katsina. 52 were killed 2 days ago. He didn't go. But
we're totally out of time. We're totally out of time, Senator.
Yes. In 1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. I was a young boy, very, very young then. And people were killed in scores. If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo-owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riots, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riots? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zinc. They spot our zinc shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then. Even though my father was a Muslim then. But because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we're living with Christians. I can remember a particular church in Mando, for those that know Mando, in Kaduna, called Chapel of Redemption. That church was destroyed. And so from that time, anytime there's a little hanky-panky in Nigeria, the first target is churches and Christians. And this has prevailed for a long time. That even if there's a problem with in another country, the Muslim and the Hausas in Nigeria will rise up and begin to kill Christians. How many of you remember the Miss World crisis in 2002, 2001, 2002? That somebody drew a picture of Muhammad or something in France, long away in France, and they began to fight in Nigeria. Are you following me? Christians are endangered species. Now let me give you, and that's how it has continued. Scores have been killed, and they focus on regions where there is a mixture of both Christianity and Islam. If you look at states like Kaduna, state like Plateau State, state like Nasarawa, state like Taraba, state like Benue, state like Bauchi, state like Gombe, state like Borno. These are places where they focus on because they intend to eliminate every living Christian in that place. Anybody that debunks it is a total lie because I have grown and lived in the north. I've spent 80 to 80% of my life in the north, so I understand this thing. Several times, I cannot forget the Sharia riot. We were running for our lives. Even though we were Muslims, but we're still running because as far as you are not of the ethnic group practicing what they practice, you are a victim. You can be burnt alive. Many of us saw human beings that were burnt alive, like roasted like yam. And it has been going on for a long time. The genocide against the Christian faith. Are you with me? Many years ago, in Kano State, a man was beheaded. And anything they talk about, he said blasphemy. And guess who was the person that led it? The man called Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was the one that led the mob. And they beheaded him, they killed the Igbo man. They killed him and they put his head on the stake and they were using it to parade the city. You will understand of a woman also that is an evangelist. Evangelist Eunice that was preaching about 2016 or 18 in Abuja. And they killed her. We cannot talk about a young girl called Deborah Samuel that was killed. I schooled in Jos, and for years, the people of Plateau have been massacred. Riot breaking out every single time. The word that the moment anything happens, the next people that are victims are Christians. And it is unfortunate that all these years, the government have not been able to do anything about it. But the agenda is deep. Are you with me this morning? Why am I saying? Because I don't want us to be an ignorant people. If we are ignorant people, they will control the narrative. And these days, let me tell you this truth. God will not come and fight for you. Remove that thing from your mind. If Christians don't rise up, pray from that to tomorrow. God is not coming to fight for you. Are you with me? Now, in the year 2009, Boko Haram started. Boko Haram started because of a section. It was a political movement. They created Boko Haram as a political talks to bring confusion into the government of Goodluck Jonathan. And to be able to, destroy any opposition, starting from Borno State, under the watch of a man called Kashim Shettima, which is now the vice president of Nigeria. Kashim Shettima and the other man, Ali Mohammed Sharif. These were the people that started the business of Boko Haram as a political talks to be able to oppose their opponents. But after a time, the ideology grew and they began to destroy. Now, it became a problem and they began to use it to destroy, bombing here and there. In 2009, 2010. As of 2010, a man led a meeting in Jos. Are you with me? He led a meeting that they were going to annihilate Christians within the locality of Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. And he said they are going to perform jihad. They will bring jihad and they will go to kill that. If the Islamic leaders are not willing to lead them, he is ready to lead the movement. I have the minute of that meeting in my phone presently. Guess who is that person? Issa Pantami, that was the former minister of communication under Buhari's regime. And several times, these are people that are terrorist sympathizers. And that is why the Nigerian army have not been able to win the war against the terrorism. Because people the terrorists have infiltrated the Nigerian ranks, the army ranks, so they cannot win the war. That said, Osama bin Laden was a better Muslim than he is. He was sad when Osama bin Laden was killed. And I have said this several times, that Boko Haram should not be killed. He said they are their Muslim brothers. How do you win a war against terrorism? Where there are people high in government that are sympathizers to terrorism. How do you win that war? Now, there are 4 categories of insecurity or people that are causing insecurity. Number 1, you have Boko Haram. Number 2, you have bandits. Number 3, you have Fulani herdsmen. Now I'm going to show you how they are connected. Many people don't know. The Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen have one mission. The mission is simple: Islamize Nigeria. Come to a territory that is Christian dominated, kill everybody there, occupy their land. Go to Benue, look for a community, kill them there, occupy their land. That's always me. Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen. Have you noticed that Fulani herdsmen they don't kidnap, they kill? There's hardly a place you hear that Fulani herdsmen capture, that they say these are Fulani herdsmen. No, when they go, they kill. How do they kill? They kill with guns. You must now ask yourself, how does a Fulani man get AK-47? Do you know the cost of one AK-47? One AK-47 is over $1,000 something. Where will a Fulani man be able to obtain to be able to get one AK-47? Are you with me? And now, so you will know that there are people that are sponsoring this movement. Then the Boko Haram and the Fulani, they go about Christian-dominated areas. You will understand that when this terrorism started in Nigeria, that only people that were killed were Christian churches. You will not hear that they kill anyone. It is Christians and churches. I remember in Kaduna then that churches began to look for security men to guide their churches in every service day. Otherwise, you can be in church and the next day is boom, everybody dies. And churches that don't have money to hire soldiers began to use some of their members. I was a member of the security team in my church in Deeper Life in Kaduna in 2010. Because we don't stay in the church. Once I come to the church in the morning, we stay outside, moving around patrolling, because anybody can come and drop anything. So when Boko Haram started, the majority of Muslims, the Hausa, Northern Muslims, they were happy. I know people that were celebrating it. If you see them cry today, I'll tell you why. At the initial beginning of this thing, they were happy celebrating the killings of Christians. They said they are purging Nigeria of RNA. It was majorly on Christians and Christian-dominated areas. But when it comes to 2014, the man Buhari and APC that wanted to overthrow the government of Jonathan, by all means, decided to employ mercenaries from Niger, from Chad, from all those Fulani, from other African nations where they're Fulani, and they brought them into Nigeria. What was the goal? The goal was that if Jonathan does not concede defeat in the election, they were going to rain hell on Nigeria. So they brought in these mercenaries, and they equipped them with rifles, the El-Rufais, the Buharis. Are you with me? The El-Rufai, the Buharis. Every one of these people called APC, they brought in mercenaries and armed them in the bushes and told them to wait. The moment Jonathan did not concede defeat in the election, they were going to start. But unfortunately for them, Goodluck knew of the assignment. He got intel about it, because the man said his ambition does not worth the blood of millions. So the man considered defeat and left. And so they declared APC winner. Now, you have already brought people from different parts to come and fight. But what they wanted to come and fight for, they don't achieve anymore. So now they left those people in the bush. They left them with guns and ammunition in the bush. And when Buhari became the president, he abandoned them. Instead of them to settle them and let them go back, they abandoned them. And the people saw Nigeria as a place that is good. And the people decided to remain in Nigeria. Those are the people that started Bandit. Before, we don't have anything like Bandits. Banditry started under the watch of APC, under Buhari, because they were the ones that brought them in. Kidnapping, because they needed to survive. So they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. Over time, now, you understand that there are certain parts of this nation where there are mineral resources. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Follow me. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Don't be in a nation where you don't have understanding of what is happening. Now, there are some parts of Nigeria where there are good resources. And this is have been illegally mined by elites, the military generals, the oligarchs, the people that are the leadership of the North. They were mining these resources, and the money does not go into the federal government account. So what they do is that they employ the services of this banditry to create two things. Number one, to create diversion. So when you go to Zamfara, that's why you hear that they say that it's killing in Zamfara now. It's because of the Ilema gold mine. There is gold in Zamfara that they're mining. And so these bandits that are already in the bush, some people collaborate with them, partner with them, and told them to see, keep creating confusion, create chaos. When you keep creating chaos, the Nigerian state and the people of Nigeria will not be able to focus on the illegal mining. They'll be concerned about the insecurity. So the insecurity is created as a means of diversion in the north. Are you following me? It is created as a means of diverting the attention of the military and the Nigerian populace from being able to focus on the illegal mining of resources. And any part of the north where there is resources, you find out that insecurity there. Recently, it has started in Kwara, because there's a great amount of lithium in Kwara too that they have discovered, and they're mining. So they partner with the Chinese, because the people that do this illegal mining are the Chinese. They partner with the Chinese to be able to. So the bandits became the security men of Chinese and all those people to protect them. So that while they're mining, they can begin to cause chaos. Because while the people are mining and they are causing chaos, nobody will be able to focus on what the Chinese are doing and those people illegal mining. Every single day to this moment, I'm telling you, they are mining in those places. And they will take it to an airfield in the bush and fly it out of Nigeria. They're making billions of dollars from it every day while people are being killed. That is why you now hear that Muslims are saying that they are killing Muslims too. What you have, it is what Buhari created. The APC-led administration created, the banditry they created, is what is affecting the North now. Because the people they brought to come and kill Nigeria in 2015 did not succeed because good luck relinquished power to them. And now the people have become thugs. They have become tools to be used in the hand of men that are using them to secure their illegal gold mines. And that's why you kill them. That's why you hear that they say they are killing Muslims. Now, the Christian persecution and genocide has been there. So you find out that the other part, the Muslim and the Fulani men keep going around killing in all those parts. And the Christians and the churches have been silent for too long. This evil has prevailed in Nigeria because the righteous men have been too quiet. If we're ever going to win against insecurity in Nigeria, Nigeria must put two things Nigeria must do. Number one, Nigeria, Sharia law must be completely abolished in Nigeria. Because Nigeria is not an Islamic state. Why will Nigeria, some part of Nigeria, be practicing Sharia? The law getting them constitutional law that believe that if somebody deserves to die because he speaks against his God. Can an Hausa man insult Jesus and I kill him for insulting Jesus? But somebody believes when you speak against Muhammad, you deserve to die. How do you live in a country with somebody that has that kind of mentality? The military have become complicit. They are compromised. Nigerian military cannot win this war. 20 years from today, I'm telling you, 20 years from today, this thing of insecurity will not end because there are people that are enjoying it, benefiting from it, and reaping from it. If Nigeria wants to win this war, partner with America. Let them come and militate. I'm not sure I've seen that in Kanu yesterday, some people were protesting that they don't want America to come. Because they believe what they have been told is that if America is coming to kill Muslims, and the man said he wants to come and kill terrorists, but they are protesting. Anybody that is negotiating, people like Ahmed Gumi, Sheikh Gumi should be locked away. A terrorist sympathizer is a terrorist. A man that believes that you are not supposed to kill a terrorist is himself a terrorist. A man that believes that we should go and negotiate. How do you go and negotiate with terrorists? Because you see, terrorists are not just criminals. They are working with the wrong ideology. A man that believes that killing he has nothing to lose. How do you negotiate with a man that believes that killing himself is going to meet their God in heaven to collect 72 virgins? How do you negotiate with such a person? A man like Sheikh Gumi should be locked away. A man like Ali Muhammad Shari should be arrested. You want to win against terrorism, you must go brutal. No nation win against terrorism by pampering them. The custom is taking rice, seizing rice from Nigeria and taking it to terrorists in the bush that they need to take care of them because they are human beings. No. The moment you become a terrorist, that you see that taking the life of your fellow human being is nothing, is to please a God, then you don't deserve to live. Children of God, I'm not going to ask you to pray because this is not a period of prayer. This is a period of action. Reverend Dr. Ezekiel from Jos, the man have been speaking, I've created attention. Not for once have they invited the man for interview because they don't want to give the man any airtime. But you see, any little thing they will call Gumi and give him microphone. Gumi, they are inviting Gumi up and down. The media is complicit. The Nigerian military are complicit. You can't win war with this Nigerian army, not because they don't have the capacity, but because they are compromised. Buhari created banditry. The people like Gumi and the rest of them, they are the people that facilitated the idea of Boko Haram. And today, some of them are your leaders in government. Some of them, most of them are moving free. Not one have been arrested. Kabiru Sokoto that bombed Nyanyan in 2011. When they rearrested him, guess where they got him? In the house of Shetima in Abuja. What is he doing in the house of Shetima if Shetima doesn't know him? But today, Shetima is your vice president. How do you win a war where terrorists are ruling you? Where terrorist sympathizers are moving around? This is not a period to say we are praying. No! This is a period of wisdom. This is a period of action. Churches in the south have no idea. They sit in their cozy churches with exploit them. They don't know what it means to be in the north. They don't know what it means to be running for your life. That every Sunday in the church there in Kaduna, when they say let us pray, everyone is praying with one eye open. Because you don't know, bomb might go up at any time in the church. The Nigerian church must rise up. There's an agenda. And if you read the minutes of that meeting in 2010 led by Isa Patami, you will not believe it. I have a recording of his messages. Where he said, why will they be killing their people? He said, why will they be killing his Muslim brothers? Referring to Boko Haram as their Muslim brothers. How do you win with such a people in government? And that guy was a minister under Buhari for 8 years. Do you know why I'm telling you this morning? You are a Nigerian. If you are not aware of what is happening around you, in a short time, one day your calamity will just come. You will not know how. Are you with me? The banditry that is destroying them in the north was created by the people Buhari brought for mercenaries to destroy Nigeria in 2015 in case he did not win. Unfortunately, he won, and those people were left without fight. And they began to use the weapons that have been provided for. These guys have sophisticated their weapon. They move logistic, move money in dollars. Where do you think they're getting it from? You think it's from the sale of cow? No. The Bible says, watch and pray. We have been praying. This is the time to do what? To watch.
So guys, let me take you through this headline and some of the reactions from Nigerians. We have a headline here that says drug baron president and Boko Haram vice president running a country complicit in Christian genocide. US Gerald Solis tackles Bwala Dane. Bwala Dane has been running from pillar to post trying to cover Christian genocide, but guess what? The world knows the truth of the whole thing. You know, gone are the days when you try to shield. For the fact that the Nigerian media houses are not going to all these places to go get this news firsthand does not mean the Nigerians and the world do not know what is happening in the country currently, you know. So, Kashim Shettima, like seeing here, eating and whining with bandits, and also like seeing in this video here, when he went to meet bandits, is now being confirmed as a Boko Haram leader. So guys, this country, no wonder Trump called us a disgraced country. Now, let's see how some Nigerians are reacting to this. This person says, some people still don't know Donald Trump described Nigeria as a disgraced country. We call on US to help us to release the criminal record, and some of these criminals were committed in American soil. Okay, this person is saying that Trump know that Nigeria is a disgraced country, should just help and release Tinubu's record. And this other person say, when international voices begin to say what means Nigeria have widespread of years, when international voices begin to say what many Nigerians have whispered for years, it means the truth is too loud to ignore. A nation cannot prosper under leaders accused of ties to terror and drug justice. Justice, transparency, and accountability must no longer be optional. Now, this other person here said, when a drug baron leads and a terror-backed VP runs the country, the people suffer. Christianity or not, enough is enough. The world must see the reality. The world must see the reality. A drug lord and a vice presidential candidate that backed terrorism, now the ones leading Nigeria. Allow them to continue defending rubbish. The world is watching. Nigeria is a disgraced country indeed, where drug barons and terrorists lead a country. One should expect killing. One should expect killings, criminality, and disharmony. Nigeria has sunk to the lowest abyss in the community of nations. So guys, this is it. Wow. Image, how the world looks at us now. We went from a fraud to straight up terrorism, all for money and power. We went from fraud to straight up terrorism, all for money and power. These people have to pay for all the lives of our beloved Christians who died for nothing. They must pay dearly in this life and in the life after. And this other person is a two satanic combo, running, controlling Nigeria's security architecture, economy, database, agriculture, and all whatnot. Shame on Nigerians. And this person says, still amazed me how Nigeria allowed two criminals become the president and vice president. Oh my God. And this person here is saying, can you provide evidence of what you are saying? And this other person say, how do you expect growth and development in such country? Nigerians are not tired of Nigerians are not tired. If not, we know what to do. We may talk more. I'm just reading what I saw. And this person say, now wahala na. Tell Trump to nuke Nigeria so that he can save the Christians all over the country. You, Bwala Dane, lost your brain, and shame, see where it leads you to. When you die, this is the shit you'll be remembered for. Honestly. And this other person here say, una they see shame, una they bring upon us in the name of politics and religion. Now, why religion won't divide? I shall hope our judges are happy too now. With this kind of optics, what is actually demarcating? Who is actually demarcating Nigeria? With this kind of optics, who is actually demarcating Nigeria? Two dangerous combo. Nigeria and Nigerians are in deep mess indeed. And this person say, why is that why Trump called Nigeria a disgraced country? Because they know it all. With all this, how do we think things will run around for good? So guys, these are some of the reactions from Nigeria after Tinubu and Shettima were named drug lord and terrorist sympathizer who are the ones ruling the country. This one said, dear Portus, read Donald Trump, please save we Christians from Islamic terrorist region. We don't they talk these things since. Oh, no great release evidence. Now why you talk Kukuma release evidence. Hey, we have been so passive spiritually and religiously stupid. How somehow we got this weird idea that we can put an unrighteous man in power and demand righteousness from him. This is crazy. Matters are rising. I can't wait till 2026, 2027. This was the greatest toxic combination ever. So-called sovereign nation. This was it. We are now laughing stocks just because of greedy and evil men in Nigeria. Since the journey of this party together, good has never come from them. Okay, since the journey of this party, nothing good has ever come from them. It's always failure and shame they bring to the nation, taking us backward, causing hardship. Yet people support them. And this person here said, this is the most wicked set. We pray to never meet their kind again. And it's 2 individuals that would be in prison. And this one said, both are product of Muslim ticket, coming from someone whose president is a convicted fellow, a man who wouldn't investigate the Epstein case because he is in it. Make on the look mirror. And this was a terrible country, terrible government, terrible leaders. So these are the reactions of Nigerians as regards to this post. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Thank you. DSS, they carry anybody anyhow. Even if you complain, say the road they did is bad. Freedom of speech is unfair. Freedom of speech, you fed him, not guaranteed.